My YouTube's darkest videos. This was a year ago, and it's so crazy. We're going backwards in time. Like, we're not even getting like the new juicy shit. Like, nigga, the most recent one we watched was yesterday. I think that shit came out like a few days ago too.
July 29th, 2019. Patrons file into a busy bar in downtown LA for the start of an always entertaining open mic night. You never know what types of performances you'll get on nights like these, or what kind of people will grace the stage with their presence. And on this particular evening, Lana witnessed one of the strangest acts they'd likely ever seen, and it was performed by a man named Robert Camus.
Where's your funny face? Make a funny face.
Interestingly, Robert has a long history here across YouTube, being featured in what seems like countless videos performing skateboarding tricks with a group of friends. But on this night, Robert was ready to show off another skill of his, as he took to the stage to perform a freestyle rap.
Bro, what's up? What's up with all these niggas trying to be rappers, bro? Like, holy shit. Like, my nigga, you could have been the next Tony Hawk, but now you're trying to be the next Eminem? Like, holy shit. Why are we doing this? Right now, like a 7?
Starting out, the performance was...
Yeah, buddy, let's try to find a different hobby. But you say you're a 7? You might be slow.
Well, a little shaky.
If you turn your lights off, you're cooked.
Which was at least partially to blame on Robert's apparent drunken state. But a bad night of karaoke in isolation is nothing all that noteworthy. In fact, despite the lethal doses of cringe, many would actually view this as a great time, a funny memory, and even respect Robert for being so willing to go up there and just give it a try.
Hell yeah. And I also wanted to say, what's good, Omega? Oh wait, never mind, nigga just fucking left. Wow. What's good, Joystick? What's good, everybody that I didn't say what's up to? We were just locked in that last video. What's up, Mario? I think I said what's up, Kitty. And yeah, what's good, the rest of y'all niggas?
However, his performance wasn't quite finished yet, and after fumbling his way through the beginning of the song, Robert's lyrics take an unexpected turn.
Oh shit, drunk thoughts or sober thoughts?
You don't even know I'm fucking news. I killed my bitch and buried that bitch in the fucking dirt.
Oh no, nigga actually did it. He did it.
The messy video shows Robert as he raps the line, "I killed my bitch and buried that bitch in the fucking dirt,"
he did it,
muttering that he has to leave because the cops are looking for him. It was a bizarre moment to say the least, and despite many in the crowd trying to play off the line as a joke, with the MC even saying that it was an Eminem-inspired performance,
oh hell no!
The audience were more visibly concerned.
Hell no! I'm about to say, my nigga Childish Gambino was sitting there like, damn, bro, this nigga actually did it. This nigga crazy. look at bro, I wasn't even looking at them, bro. I was too locked in on the lyrics, bro. But nah, that nigga definitely did that shit, bro.
They had the right to be.
Nigga said, I gotta go. The cops are looking for me.
Well, we're inside this bar, the King Eddie bar, and this is where Camus was standing when he did this rap version. And I guess the big question is, was it a confession?
Parked out front of the establishment was Robert's gray Prius. And in the trunk of this
Prius
was a shovel, along with fresh dirt and fresh blood.
Sober.
Blood that belonged to his girlfriend, Amanda Custer. And coincidentally, that very day, Amanda Custer had been reported as missing after a neighbor had witnessed Robert carrying her limp body and placing it in the trunk of his car before driving off. Only to emerge hours later, alone at this open mic night.
Nigga, how do you just casually do that shit? And then pull up to a goddamn bar and start casually just drinking. Like you didn't just fucking kill. Like what, bruh? Nigga had a YouTube channel? Ain't no fucking way. Oh yeah, this was the... How do you go from skateboarding to... I don't get it, bro.
In the moment, a bizarre performance was all this seemed to be. But today, many...
Damn, when that nigga got the mic! Bro right here already looked at him kind of weird.
And this footage would ultimately be used in court. And
damn, they packed up Keanu Reeves, bruh.
Custer, even though to this very day, her body has never been found. But if the words of Robert are to be believed, then it's sadly very likely that she's out there somewhere, buried deep in the dirt.
Yo, that's so crazy too. Motherfuckers dead ass be getting away with murders. Well, they don't be getting away with murders. Well, actually, no, they do be getting away with murders. But the fact that the body wasn't found is just crazy to me.
Now, if you've seen Amanda Custer, police want to hear from you.
It has been 3 days since Amanda Custer's been seen.
YouTube's darkest videos. Wait, are we still gonna talk about his video? Hold on, I kind of want to see what that video is about. Tribe video? Tribe video. Oh, nigga just skating. We don't give a fuck about that nigga. Rest in peace, nigga. Where were you when it happened? Liminal Land? Liminal Land.
Remember, people have to learn how to swim.
Chapter
It's
2.
great fun though.
Sinking.
It's something you can do with all of your friends.
Ah, motherfuckers drowned.
During the summer of 2022 in Carré Yosef,
My bad, Lana.
a popular corporate villa had been rented out by a local marketing agency to host a company event. The location was highly sought after due to its large outdoor pool area, making it the perfect spot for employees to unwind and connect
That should look
outside of
fun.
their typical working environment.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie.
And on this day-
If I wasn't so bougie with my hair, bro, or if I knew how to retwist my hair, I'd definitely be at the pool a lot, my nigga. I love me the pool. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. What?
The 21st of July, 50 employees of this company would gather at the party to enjoy the hot summer sun and the cool water of the pool. And by all accounts, the party had been going off without a hitch. Until it happened.
Yo, some lemonade would hit
As
right now. I don't know
unsuspecting
why I thought about
partygoers
that.
were hanging in and around the pool. Some began to notice that the water level appeared to be receding, with one keen witness pulling out their phone to record the unfolding ordeal.
The fuck?
And just as they hit that record button, things would fall into complete chaos.
That a sinkhole? Yo, why are we just standing there? I'm sorry, I'm
Suddenly,
gone.
a large sinkhole opens up beneath the pool, in
I'm
turn
running.
creating a massive vortex and an impossibly strong current, dragging essentially everything in its path down towards the opening. And within mere seconds, the pool, once completely filled with water, had become completely barren, with even the pool floats disappearing beneath the surface
That's
of the earth.
crazy as fuck.
Luckily, at the time there were only about 6 partygoers in the pool, and 3 of them had immediately made their way to safety, but one man could be seen standing dangerously close to the newly formed crater, even slipping and falling to the ground just inches away from being pulled into its opening.
That's so crazy. Nigga could have
Thankfully,
been
he
gone.
too had managed to make his way to safety, but the 2 others weren't so lucky, as in the moments immediately before this video began, they had been sucked into the depths of the sinkhole.
Like,
Of the
bro,
2,
death by sinkhole is fucking crazy, nigga. Like, what? Like, the fact that the earth could really just fuck with you at any time. In fact, boy, stop that yelling shit, nigga. You're not fucking yelling at
One would be
nobody.
able to quickly pull
But that's
his
so
way to
crazy.
safety,
Sinkholes,
while the other
earthquakes,
was
nigga.
nowhere to be found.
Natural disasters, like, bro,
As
what?
rescuers made their way to the scene and attempted to enter the hole, it was discovered that it was far deeper than anyone could have imagined, with later reports showing that the pit was a staggering 43 feet deep, with the entire opening being filled with water. And the missing
Yo,
swimmer,
that
32-year-old
is
Khalil
crazy.
Kimhi, was trapped at the very bottom. It would take 4 grueling hours of navigating that claustrophobic grave to finally reach Khalil, who by that point was sadly long gone, having likely already perished by the time rescuers even reached the scene, passing away in what must have been one of the most horrifying ways imaginable.
Death by drowning, bro. I couldn't, bro.
After all was said and done, it was revealed that the owner of the villa had built the pool in an unsafe location, and had done so without a permit, leading to charges of negligent manslaughter. And though this event was no doubt a tragedy, it's easy to see just how much worse this could have been if more people had been in that pool at the time. And what truly haunts me the most about this clip is just how unexpected it was. 1 minute you're enjoying a beautiful swimming pool,
Literally.
and the next, you're trapped 40 feet beneath the earth, drowning with no chance of survival. All because of a freak phenomenon that is entirely unpredictable.
Literally, bro. You hear about the guy who was sleeping and his whole house was swallowed by a sinkhole and he died? Nah, what the fuck? That's crazy.
From one pool party to another, this next clip takes...
Yeah, nah, and then when you're trying to breathe, nigga, and then you can't breathe, and then water starts getting in your fucking body, and motherfucker started imploding from the inside.
In February of 2020, where an influencer named Ekaterina Didenko was preparing to celebrate her 29th birthday. Just a few years prior, Ekaterina had graduated from medical school, earning her the title of pharmacist. But rather than going the traditional route and pursuing a career in pharmacy, she instead chose to use her expertise to start a blog focused on creating homemade medicines in order to save her viewers trips to the pharmacy.
Homemade medicines I would never fucking agree to.
New, and in most cases it's highly controversial, and Ekaterina was no exception to this, with many calling her practices and advice potentially dangerous.
Facts.
This, however, did not stop her from amassing a following of over 1 million people, which was spread out across her Instagram page along with other platforms. And despite her content being controversial in nature, she quickly carved out a legitimate career as an influencer by 2020. And with her birthday approaching on the 28th of February, she wanted to throw the perfect party to show off to all of her followers. Helping plan the night was Ekaterina's husband, Valentin Didenko, who was on board to make the evening as grand as possible.
Okay.
And Valentin had the perfect plan, something he called a steam show. Previously, the couple had booked a venue to accommodate all their guests, with one of the most appealing amenities being its swimming pool, and using his limited knowledge of science, along with inspiration from a somewhat viral trend at the time, Valentin...
We gotta start doing our research, guys. We gotta start. Why did they think that this was gonna be a good idea, bro? This motherfucker is about to burn the shit out of their body.
Team thought of a way to turn that ordinary pool room into something extraordinary by using dry ice to fill the entire room with steam, as dry ice combined with water creates an immediate dense fog, in turn creating his steam show. And so, as the party was going on and guests were having a great time,
30-degree burns of
Valentin
hell
decided to reveal the main event, and brought all the partygoers into the room, giving them gowns and goggles to wear, before dumping a box full of dry ice into the water.
That's just some dumbass shit. See, that motherfuckers trying to be different, bro. Like, it is okay to do some normal ass shit, bro. I wouldn't even agree to no shit like this, bro. Oh God, someone's gonna fall into that bitch. They're not gonna know where the water is and just slip.
The pool disappears within a cloud of gas, creating the incredible show that both Ekaterina and Valentin had dreamed of, with Ekaterina herself pulling out her phone to record the moment. And quickly it became apparent that the pool wasn't just for show, as Valentin himself suddenly dives into the mist, disappearing within its hidden...
Are we fucking dumb, bro? Are we dumb? It's shit like this where it's like, this ain't even dark. This is just fucking pure idiot. What's the word? You're just being dumb. You're just being dumb, bro.
And water. But there was just one problem.
Nigga ain't come back up.
The chemical reaction that happens when dry ice and water connects doesn't just cause the formation of mist. It causes the formation of carbon dioxide that is produced in such a highly concentrated form that it appears as fog, meaning that the cloud we are seeing here is made entirely of straight CO2, which in such high concentration is toxic to humans, with it causing shortness of breath and eventual asphyxiation. And though Ekaterina's recording shows the group having the time of their lives, No one realized that when that dry ice was placed in the pool, it had in turn placed all of their lives in danger. Making matters worse, Valentine wanted the show to be as long-lasting as possible, and in turn ordered the doors to be closed in order to keep that fog.
They could suffocate them, like I said. I didn't even know that, bro. So not only did bro jump in that bitch, damn near as soon as he fucking fell in that hoe, nigga was already cooked. Bro couldn't breathe at all, bro.
Fog inside the small room.
This bro, on God, this is like a plot to Final Destination, my nigga. This is some Final Destination ass shit.
Little ventilation to filter out this toxic gas.
I said it earlier. How the fuck did you know that?
CO2 not just very dangerous.
Locking the door is crazy for this.
And Valentine had just dove directly into its heart.
Nowhere to be found.
He would break the surface just one time after this, and although the crowd cheers him on, believing he's just splashing around and having some fun, at this moment, his lungs were filling with fluid, and he was suffocating to death, as below the water, he was drowning, and on its surface, he was suffocating.
That's so fucking crazy.
With the only outcome being death. Ekaterina then turns the camera.
That's a different way to go out, bro.
Revealing another man entering the water as she's laughing and yelling in amusement. And behind her, all of her friends are seen recording the ordeal, oblivious to the fact that Valentine was now dying at the bottom of the pool. They were far too distracted trying to get the perfect shot for their own social media pages.
See, some niggas be too locked in on that social media shit, bro. Live in the fucking moment, bro. Motherfuckers need to learn how to live in the moment. But still, like, just the thought of this is just so dumb. It's literally so stupid. Like, no one, out of like, what, the 7, 8, 9, 10 people in there, no one was like, this is dumb. This is dumb. What's good, Crunchy?
In the end, it truly was the spectacle that Valentine and Ekaterina had dreamed of.
To be fair, the average person probably don't know dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide,
that something was terribly wrong, as some began to experience shortness of breath that eventually caused them to pass out. Meanwhile, others began to feel sharp pains throughout their body that were eventually learned to be the result of chemical burns. Once the room was finally evacuated, 3 partygoers would be unaccounted for, as Natalia Manakova, Yuri Elfarov, and Valentine were left in the foggy room, dead at the bottom of the pool.
That's crazy as fuck.
What should have been the perfect day for Ekaterina had instead ended with her becoming a widow. And as off-putting as this video is, many would point to Ekaterina's behavior following the incident as even more unusual. Immediately after the incident occurred,
no way this bitch starts going on social media for views. Please don't tell me this isn't what the fuck she's finna do.
Ekaterina would start her grieving process by posting this video for the world to see, and subsequently vlogging her experience at the hospital and documenting the death of her husband.
Bruh, it's giving Jack Doherty. It's giving Jack Doherty. I ain't gonna lie. It's giving Jack Doherty. Like, my nigga, your husband just fucking died. Let me record. My husband died. You know what? Fuck. Instead of probably like mourning and taking this off the internet, let me make a whole documentary. Whole documentation of every event that led to it and post it on the internet. That's gonna bang. Oh, and then I can make a GoFundMe. Oh yeah. That'll really rev in the money. It's like, bitch, you even love your husband at that point? You ain't even really crying for real. You ain't even really crying. I can't believe these
It was
tears.
admittedly a bit bizarre, as many accused her of exploiting the death of her husband to gain internet followers.
Exactly what the fuck she's
with
doing.
further questions being posed as to why she hadn't considered the deadly effects of dry ice and water, as after all, she was an expert in the field of science. The scrutiny towards Ekaterina became so intense at one point that Russian authorities launched an investigation into her actions, claiming that it may be possible to charge her for
if that's the case, then that's fucking insane.
Causing death by negligence, though to my knowledge, nothing ever came of this. Just 5 whole months after the incident, Ekaterina would remarry, with those initial posts documenting the death of her first husband, leading to her gaining an additional 500,000 followers.
Did I hear that right?
Ekaterina, nothing ever came of this. Just 5 whole months after the incident, Ekaterina would remarry with
5 fucking months? You had a husband that just fucking died, and 5 months later, your dirty ass goes out and gets a whole nother nigga after exploiting your husband for 500,000 followers? Nah. Nah.
With those initial posts,
this bitch can burn in the deepest depths of hell, my nigga.
Leading to her gaining an additional 500,000 followers.
That's insane.
Deep inside this vertical city, a machine has come to life. A machine with a terrible secret. Take the stairs. For God's sake, take the stairs.
Oh. Yeah, it was Yekaterina.
It was a quiet January night in the Yuanlin Finance and Economics Building, located in western Taiwan. The 16th-floor tower held its fair share of both office spaces and residences, though as the clock reached past midnight, only the building manager would be awake in its lobby. As he settled in for another uneventful night, the silence was suddenly broken by a woman rushing in with a small child. The man didn't recognize her as a
Hold up, my fault, chat. All her shit got taken down, bro. I saw this, but this is actually her. This is actually her, bro. I doubt this is her, but if it is her, she's a fucking loser. Oh, fuck. Damn. I just closed out that shit. Yeah, that's actually her. Yeah, bitch could rest in fucking piss, I ain't gonna lie.
Located in western Taiwan.
Alright, let me log back in on the video. That just pissed me off, though. The Taiwanese elevator video. What's this about?
For God's sake, take the stairs.
It was a quiet January night in the Yuanlin Finance and Economics Building, located in western Taiwan. The 16th-floor tower held its fair share of both office spaces and residences, though as the clock reached past midnight, only the building manager would be awake in its lobby. As he settled in for another uneventful night, the silence was suddenly broken by a woman rushing in with a small child. The man didn't recognize her as a resident, and given that the offices were closed for the night, he stopped her and questioned why she was there. The woman, however, brushed him off in a hurry, stating that they were only there to meet a friend, before entering the elevator and disappearing out of view. According to the man, he felt a bad omen in the air after the encounter, and only grew more concerned as the morning arrived and the woman had yet to come down and exit the building. So out of curiosity, the manager turned to the building's CCTV footage to determine where the two had gone, only to see this.
Is she about to kill the kid? What the hell did she leave in there?
Inside the elevator, the woman begins hitting the button to floor 11 in what seems to be a panic, and as the doors close behind her and her child,
bitch just killed someone and now she's gonna kill herself.
She then removes her coat and places it on the ground, before doing the same with her kid. When the elevator then reaches their desired floor, she quietly slips off her shoes and exits in a hurry.
She about to kill her and the kid.
It's unusual footage, as their behavior just seems slightly off, and it's made all the more disturbing due to what they could or couldn't see on the cameras after that. Upon exiting the elevator, the pair are seen walking down the hallway on floor 11 in this grainy footage recaptured by the man's cell phone, with the two heading in the general direction of the stairwell, which also happened to be the sole entrance to the roof.
Yup.
And from there, the two aren't seen again.
Bitch kill
Noting this,
herself.
the manager immediately began fearing the worst, as their bizarre behavior coupled with the route seemingly leading to the roof could only mean one thing, and quickly the police were called for what they believed to be a cleanup job, figuring that the two had jumped off the roof. This belief was further fueled by the woman's actions in the elevator, as removing one's shoe prior to is apparently a somewhat common thing in Asian countries, as they don't want to track dirt into the afterlife. However, once officers arrived on scene and searched the entire
I don't know what it is, but like seeing like how the US operate when it comes to cops and shit, and then seeing like other countries and shit and their like legal ways and like their cops and shit. Like, you would never see no nigga in the US rocking this top hat, bro.
Perimeter of the building, there was no sign of the mother and daughter, not even a single trace of blood, meaning they couldn't possibly have jumped. Police would then look through the entirety of the footage and review the positioning of the cameras, only to determine that virtually all exits were covered by the watchful eyes of their CCTV.
Damn!
If these two had left the building, they would surely have the footage to prove it. Though while sifting through the entire night,
niggas
this
find
moment
shit
was the last they'd ever be seen on camera. So if they hadn't jumped, and if they hadn't left,
then
they must be somewhere in the building, they thought, which led to a full-scale search of the complex, with officers going door to door searching every nook and cranny. However, while asking around, not a single resident had seen the pair that night, or even heard them for that matter. When their initial sweep was concluded, the police would be left empty-handed, only uncovering just a few set of clues. For starters, they would find the clothes and shoes left behind on the elevator, and they would also find the woman's moped which she had driven to the building. And finally, they would find a single suitcase, found vacant on the top steps leading to the roof. Police would go on to describe this piece of luggage as suspicious, but never revealed its true contents.
But you can get inside those? I didn't know you can get inside those.
In fact, following an initial report, they would never give confirmation as to whether it was involved in this case or not. Either way, it led them to a dead end, as they believed these two could not have possibly left that building, though at the same time, they clearly weren't there. Multiple times after this, the building would be searched and searched and searched again.
Bro, I couldn't even think about like being a parent and then like, cause like the last couple of days we've been watching these videos, and it always ends up with like the parents taking their kids out, and it's just like, bro, as a fucking parent, I could not even have the heart to kill my kid, bro. And I'm not even a parent yet.
2013, when they would go as far as to check the water pipes and even the water tank itself, which was inspired by an unfolding case of a similar nature halfway across the world.
Oh yeah, we're just
but
talking
no
about
trace
the
of the
water
pair
tank.
was ever discovered.
So they're not even in the water tank
after
either.
This footage was taken, these two vanished into thin air. Following the disappearance, local news would broadcast the footage where a man named Zhang would come forward stating that this was his wife and 4-year-old daughter. The woman's surname was Leo, and the pair had 4 children together, though their relationship was anything but perfect. Multiple reports claim that on that very night, the two had gotten into an argument, with some going as far as to say that Zhang had actually abused her, causing her to leave the home in a hurry, grabbing only their youngest daughter. Meanwhile, their eldest daughter would go on record stating that Leo had told her that they were going to visit a friend's house just for a few days, only to never return. Despite the significance of discovering the identity of this woman and her daughter, it would ultimately fail to help solve the case, as there have been no sightings of these two since this moment, turning this into one of Taiwan's most mysterious cases of all time. And in the region, 3 major theories have emerged. First, many locals in the area believe that something otherworldly happened to these two, with one resident at the time stating, "I think they entered another time and space." This belief is actually so strong that even as of just a few years ago, that 11th floor is practically left vacant, as the only remaining family on that floor claims that everyone moved out of fear of the supernatural surrounding the incident.
Bro, what? Nigga, what? Like, bro, like, I guess.
Lasting theory
I
is
guess
that the two were still somewhere in the building, having potentially taken their lives or just gotten stuck there. And officials believed this for years after the case, assuming that eventually someone would happen upon them. Though that day has never come, and due to the extreme summer heat in the region, it's likely that the smell alone would have led to their discovery by now. Which brings us to our third theory, that somehow the two had actually managed to leave the building without detection. Due to the camera positioning in the hotel, this seems rather unlikely, but some claim that there is a specific route that potentially could have provided just enough cover for them to avoid all the cameras. But this would have had—
But nigga, either way, if that shit were to happen, when they leave and this fucking case is like active, cameras from anywhere would spot them. Like, I doubt that too. She might be invisible woman, she's not invisible woman.
What makes this so strange though is that Leo apparently had limited to no knowledge of this building beforehand, begging the question how she could navigate in such an efficient manner, or why she would want to for that matter. And this is far from the only questions regarding
where's the kid at?
Like, why would she even enter this building to begin with if she was just going to leave? And why go to that 11th floor in particular and remove those articles of clothing? And maybe most importantly of all, if she had somehow snuck around those cameras, how had she or her child never been seen again? Nothing about this case makes any sense.
That's so
honestly,
crazy.
What happened to
Because what if they really are alive and like motherfuckers dead ass just don't know what the fuck happened to them? But like I'm really thinking of it from like her perspective. Like she just went into the fucking random ass hotel, went to the 11th floor, took off all her shit, and now she just disappeared. Like no, bruh. There's no way. She either killed herself in GTA or she hid it somewhere, bruh.
These two at this point is anyone's guess, as this is practically all the information available on their disappearance. Since then, there have been no sightings, no use of their health insurance, no use of their bank account, and their daughter's records show that she has never been enrolled to another school. It's almost as if they evaporated into that cold night air.
That's crazy.
Part of me hopes that this was all an attempt to flee an abusive relationship, and that somehow this was all just a distraction for these two to escape and start a new life elsewhere, which could explain that supposed friend they were going to meet, why they shed their coats, and how they managed to sneak out of there in the first place.
Shit, that's
things
crazy.
Of that nature are easier said than done, and I can't help but get a sinking feeling that they
like
are
that,
no longer with us.
That's
Surely at some point, some trace of them would have appeared by now. But unfortunately, an absolute conclusion is something that perhaps we may never get, and instead, we're simply left with this chilling video, which is undoubtedly one of YouTube's darkest.
We got one more. Ew, I don't like how it's only in my right ear. The lame horse incident.
The celebration was well underway. December 5th, 2009 marked the 8-year anniversary of the beloved Lame Horse, a roughly 5,000 square foot nightclub located in Perm, Russia. On the evening of the 4th, the club began to fill with partygoers keen on joining in on the massive party. To commemorate the night, a cameraman and an interviewer would be on scene to document the events of that evening, which they did by first speaking to patrons as they roamed the club, getting their thoughts and opinions on the celebration. The night all seemed to be in good fun, and it was only just beginning for most,
but they really
with the
saying
party
words,
set to go
bro.
all throughout the night. And as the recording continues, it's clear that the club had big plans to bring in this new year. Following the interviews, the footage shows us a view of the dance floor, which was occupied by a group of performers who had been hired to energize the crowd and further build the hype of the night. The organizers had even hired an MC for the evening, whose job was to keep the party alive.
My bad jump.
By this point, over 300 people had made their way into the building, as the MC continues the show by joking around with two young women, who were clearly guests of the bar, with the cameraman fixing his lens on the three as the crowd watches on in amusement.
Alright. MC gluten.
But
wow.
It's at this exact moment that the camera unintentionally catches something far more interesting. Something that could easily be missed, as it seemed so unimportant in the moment. While everyone's eyes are fixed forward at the show before them, This woman, standing on the far right of the camera, barely occupying a sliver of
I knew it. They talking about her. She just randomly looked.
The frame, casually turns her head, only for her eyes to lock onto something behind her, and noticing the woman's bizarre reaction, the cameraman follows her lead and turns the camera in the same direction, revealing this.
What was it?
Замечательно. Очень люблю женщин, которые созрели. Зрелые, красивые, желанные, обаятельные. Дамы и господа!
Oh shit!
Unbeknownst to pretty much everyone in the club at that time, a spark from the show's pyrotechnics had made contact with the club's ceiling, which was covered in decorative twigs for the party, and within a split second, a fire would erupt. The initial shock caused many to freeze in place for precious seconds, unable to comprehend what exactly was happening.
Shit, nigga, fire
it wasn't
happening.
until the MC, the same one in charge of keeping that party alive, began to shout, "Ladies and gentlemen, guests of the club, we are on fire, please leave the hall," that the patrons would finally unfreeze.
Everybody started moving out of horror, didn't they? Yup, cramping on top of each other.
Following this announcement, the crowd flew into a panic, desperately making their way to the exit, which is where the first fatal issue arose. The club supposedly had two exits, one through the front door and the other located behind the stage. However, that second exit had no signs indicating where it was, meaning that practically no one in the room knew that it was even there.
Damn.
Because of this, most of the patrons began pushing towards that one main exit.
Yo, I feel like niggas don't be having no sense of awareness, bro. Like, maybe y'all niggas should, you know what I'm saying? Every time I get into a building, I think of, like, the exits, bro. Or, like, I try to think of the exits, like, just in case some shit happens, bro. Decorative twigs be some Russian shit? Yeah, no, I don't know why the fuck that. I don't know why they thought that was gonna work.
The cameraman reveals the exit, and in turn, another
I was finding the exit and bathrooms, facts.
In order to control the crowd going into the venue earlier that night, one of the two doors at the front entrance was locked, meaning that this small opening was the only means of escape for the 300 plus people trapped inside. And to make matters worse, by this point, the entire venue was now shrouded in smoke.
I don't know why they didn't talk about that other exit. That probably could have saved so many lives.
As so many people were attempting to fit through that small exit, they became stuck, causing a logjam and in turn, a human crush. And the more people desperately tried to push through that door, the more jammed it became.
Humans are fucking stupid.
Meanwhile, those still trapped on the dance floor were left hopelessly lost in that impenetrable smoke. And within the mob of people rushing towards that exit, the camera suddenly goes dark before shutting off completely.
Damn. That's motherfucker's last moments, bro. That's so crazy. Bro got trampled, literally.
Somehow, the cameraman, along with multiple others, were able to squeeze their way out of the exit, as evident when the camera begins to record sometime later. This time, in the middle of the road, revealing hints of the havoc that was occurring both inside and outside of the club. But tragically, this is where one last fatal factor was added to the equation, which was highlighted by a quote from a survivor and one of the very first people to escape the club. "After I got out, there were no firemen or emergency services for about 20 minutes. Nobody at all. There were only 2 ambulances altogether. They managed to take 6 or 7 men and left. No more ambulance cars arrived, at least I saw none. Firemen had pulled out a number of people by then. Half clothed, they were simply laid out on the cold asphalt. Nobody cared for them. People were lying on the ground for about an hour and a half, definitely for no less than an hour.
That shit was a setup.
Many of them died because of this, because of the cold. It was 16 degrees below zero outdoors." In what has since been heavily criticized, and rightfully so, the emergency response team only fueled the intensity of this disaster, as many of those trapped inside were left to their own devices, and those who were rescued were laid out on the street with severe injuries, and most of their clothes burned off, forced to lie there unable to move for over an hour in the freezing cold. It's unknown how many deaths were caused by this alone, but if these first-hand accounts are to be believed, it's likely that many were. Not only had the venue itself failed these victims, but the emergency response team had as well. Ultimately, 101 people would die on the scene that day, and an additional 55 perished later in the hospital, with the catastrophe amassing a death toll of 156 total people, making it the deadliest fire in Russia since—
Nigga, that is half of the goddamn niggas that showed up to that shit, bro. Holy fuck, bro. And Enemy Club set this up, literally had to be, bro. Cause ain't no way, dude. Ain't no way the emergency services weren't coming through.
Since the fall of the Soviet Union. The footage from that night taken
but
before, during, and after
acting
the
on
event
emotion, bro. They
truly
don't think
account
logically.
for some of the most disturbing on the site, but two moments in particular have always stuck in my mind. The first being that initial stunned reaction from the lady just off screen, as she had noticed what was transpiring before anyone else, and the other being that first reveal of the small fire on the ceiling that would so quickly and so savagely engulf the entire building.
That's crazy
and
as
claim
fuck.
the lives of so many. I wanted to briefly mention that I have brand new Patreon tiers.
Yeah, W Patreon, bro. But W video too. Holy shit. Did not mean to play DJ Khaled, bro. Ole, ole, ole.